Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled Dating Detox. All the good men over 35 are taken. I'm left with the dregs, says model who has been on 500 dates in 4 years. And guys, this article, which was sent over to me from a subscriber a couple days ago, I'm finally getting around to doing this. This is all about a woman who is a model, or she was a model, I'm not sure which. And you can see pictures in the, if you click on the link in the description, you'll see what she looks like. And she's pretty, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure she looked smoking hot when she was in her prime, in her teens and 20s. This whole article is her complaining that there are no good men out there. We've all heard that song and dance before, that over 35, no good men. And she's going to go into this whole thing talking about her bad experiences. And what cracked me up immediately, the fact that she says she's been on 500 dates in 4 years. And in that time period, 500 dates, she can't find a good guy. You got to be out of your damn mind, okay? And I have a very hard time believing that when she was obviously in her prime, late teens and 20s, that she didn't encounter countless good guys that would have pretty much been dream come true for so many women in terms of treating her well, doing well for themselves, all that, but they weren't good enough. Because you know how, and again in today's world, thanks to social media and dating apps, where just an average woman can just get bombarded, absolutely bombarded with emails and messages from guys, not just locally, but actually all over the world, giving them attention and validation and being interested in them. So that makes the women's heads, makes their egos go through the roof. And they think there's always something better. So I'm not going to settle here. This guy's an 8, but you know what? I'm entitled to a 10. And what happens is this goes on so much, and time goes by, because time flies, as you know, as you get older. Next thing you know, the woman's in her 30s, and she's not as appealing as she was in her 20s. And then we get things like this, complaining, there are no good men out there, and blah, 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 and the good ones are already taken, and blah, blah, blah. So here we go again. So I figure you guys would find this entertaining, and I'm going to point this out and have a fun time making fun of her along the way. So it starts off. Earlier this month, I opened the door to a bouquet of flowers. They were from yet another man who wants to date me. He's 35, tall, dark, and handsome. Yet as experience dictates, I'd know there'd be a catch. What do you think he sent them for? Just to make you happy? Obviously, he's interested in you and interested in other things, okay? We're all human beings here. We all have needs. I mean, she's 38 years old. What does she think this is all about? But I like how she starts this off saying, basically, there was yet another man who wants to date me. Like just, poor me, yet another guy wants to date me. Get over yourself, lady. She says, after a few messages, he disappeared. And this week, as the gifts roll in from admirers for Valentine's Day, I've already received 2. I know not to get my hopes up either. I am 38 years old and have been single for 4 years. So she's a model, or was a model. She is good looking. And she's been on 500 dates in 4 years. And I did the math. That's like 2.5 dates a week, which I guarantee the vast majority of those dates she didn't pay a penny for. If she paid for 5% of those dates, I'd be surprised at that amount. But she can't find a guy in 4 years? You gotta be shitting me. And I hate to break it to any other single women in their late 30s, but all the decent men in our age bracket have been taken. So of the 8 billion, almost 8 billion people on the planet, which half of them are men, and whatever that number that is of men in their 30s or 40s, which she's looking for, you mean to tell me that there aren't good enough guys out there? That's it? It's over and done with? That's a load of crap. But again, like I said in the beginning, thanks to the dating apps and the social media giving women all this attention all the time, they feel entitled to basically the top percentage of guys that make the most money, have the most charm and personality, the best looks. But mathematically, that's impossible. You cannot have all the available women on the planet all going for the teeny tiny small percentage of guys. And the interesting thing is that percentage of the top guys, guess what? Those guys have been around the block. They don't want to settle down. They don't want to get married because they know what's in for them if they do. Or these guys have so many women chasing after them. Why the hell are they going to settle down with one when they can have a new chick every week or every night in some cases, depending how high they are up on that scale? Or many also have been around the block and they've been burned in the past, and they know how things go in the family courts and all that. So they're not going to get married to have their wealth, what they've built up for themselves, be on the line because of that. Don't blame us. It goes on. And sadly, the older silver foxes enjoy being single and have no intention of settling down. What'd I just tell you? And the younger blokes are only into booty calls. Translation, she's 38, and the younger blokes that she's mentioning, they're going for some cougar fun. That's what's going on there. So back to men my own age. While I work out every day, these men look a decade older. Beer bellies, bad manners, little respect for single women, and minimal hygiene. I've seen it on all the apps. Now don't get me wrong. As a personal trainer, I can tell you that you go out anywhere, guys. Here in the United States, you go anywhere, a restaurant, Target, a bar, the movies, the mall, anywhere, and the majority of people beyond age 30 are either a little bit overweight or a lot overweight. And it goes both ways, men and women. And people stop taking care of themselves. So that is accurate. There's a lot of guys out there that just look like crap. They don't take care of themselves, which I'm always encouraging you guys to get on your purpose, get to the gym, start working out. You don't have to look like The Rock, but definitely you can get fit over a certain period of time. Eat well, dress well, have good hygiene. You'll be so far ahead of the rest because most guys don't do anything. But it doesn't mean that they're all like that, like she's trying to claim here in this article. Over the past 4 years, I've been on almost 500 dates trying to find Mr. Right. And while I've become something of an expert on dating apps, last year I got a congratulations from Tinder for getting 25,000 likes for my profile. Unfortunately, I'm still looking for the one. Alright, I'm going to stop you right there. If she is trying to find the one on Tinder, she's got a big problem. As I've been told before and people have said, literally Tinder is a cesspool. Okay, so she's looking for Mr. Right on Tinder. She's in the wrong place, okay? My theory is all the good men were snapped up when they were young. And that's left is the dregs. Again, are you telling me she didn't have opportunities when she was younger? And come on, guys, we all know darn well that women by a certain age, they can pick out a guy that is your classic Mr. Nice Guy, marriage material type of guy a mile away. And they can also pick out the bad boys a mile away. But who do they usually go for, right? So you can't feel bad for women at a certain point when they know darn well the type of guys they're getting involved with. They know, okay? And any women that are watching this that are honest with themselves, they'll admit this, okay? They may not type it in the comment section, but they know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you right now, young lady who's watching this right now. You know in your gut the type of guy you're dealing with after probably about 10 seconds at best. Nice guy, bad boy. Don't complain. She says, I was 18 when I had my first serious boyfriend. We were together for 5 years, we shared a house, and we're in love, but we met too young. We grew apart. Later, I had another long-term relationship for 7 years. We also lived together. While we never talked about marriage, it was on the cards, but it didn't work out, and our split was messy. So she wasn't necessarily, according to this, riding the carousel so much because she had these long-term relationships, but I have to question the type of men that she was in these type of relationships. Were they the good, nice guys? I have a very hard time believing that. Or more of the bad boy types that she stayed in for a while, 5 years here, 7 years there, hoping that they would change and be the one, be the type of guy she wants them to be, even though deep down she ought to know darn well they're not the type of guys, and eventually realize it's not going anywhere, and there you go. So many women do this. But again, I don't want to hear that there's no good men out there. While in her prime, she'd have no problem attracting an endless supply of good guys. Because guess what? Most guys are good guys. Suddenly, in my early 30s, I was dropped into the dating world. At times, it felt like I am the last single person in London. Even so, I have clung onto the idea of falling in love with someone my age. I'm sorry, honey, it's not going to work that way. You are now in your mid-30s. The likelihood is you're going to attract a guy in his 40s or 50s, and not have a problem there. But if you're looking for a guy in your 30s, either they are married, because at that point a lot of guys are married, or they are single, but they're single for a reason, okay? For whatever reason, they just want to be on their own. They know better in terms of settling down and getting married in today's world, or they're the top percentage guys and they're enjoying having fun. End of story. So in her situation, she's probably should be looking for guys in their 40s, maybe early 50s. She shouldn't have a problem there. Well, let me rephrase that. She's not having a problem considering she's been on 500 dates in 4 years. But she's just psychotically picky. That's the issue here. And there's no way that of those 500 dates that every single one of those guys had beer bellies, bad hygiene, looked 10 years old in their picture. I mean, come on here. It says here, I carefully worded my dating profiles so as to not attract the wrong type of man, and I use my professional pictures. I'm a model and wanted to sieve out the men who found that intimidating, but I haven't been all that successful. During my 500 dates, the only guy I have seriously dated was my age, and he had the best hair and teeth in the world. So she's a model, so she's going to focus on things like his hair and teeth. He even had a proper job and took me out for fancy dinners. Alas, he wasn't ready to settle down or something like that. Apart from that, there was the guy who looked like Superman on his dating profile, but turned up with a long white Santa beard. His body had gone to pot, and he was wearing unwashed clothes. Then there was the wealthy consultant who took me to his club, where cocktails were 30 quid a pop. He was generous, but knew the value of nothing. Plus, he continually scoffed salt and vinegar nuts on our date. The odor was revolting. I went out with a psychologist, but every text I wrote to him, I'd get one back analyzing what I said. I'd ignore 90% of them. After our second date, he asked me to go back to his place, and when I said no, I got a long message at 2 a.m. telling me what I'd done was wrong and I wasn't giving us a chance. Well, if this guy was, in her words, analyzing every text and message, that's just ridiculous. I mean, not ridiculous on his part. And don't get me wrong, guys, there are plenty of guys that are completely clueless. Okay, lots of boneheaded guys out there. Okay, so it definitely, man, it's windy out here. Whole car's shaking. Plenty of guys, obviously, out there don't know what the hell they're doing and can turn her off. But out of the 500, no guys are good enough. That's something else. I have lost count of the number of men who use pictures that are a decade old. Do they not realize I will clock that the hot young thing I've been messaging is not the bloke who sat opposite of me? Now I can tell if a photo is ancient. Well, don't tell me that women don't do the same thing, that women don't portray themselves as a certain way on these dating apps and don't have pictures that are definitely a lot older. I don't think there's one guy watching this that does dating and uses dating apps that hasn't been a situation like that. Not one. I have lost count of the number of men who use pictures that are, I just read that. Do they not realize blah, blah, blah? Now I can tell if a photo is ancient. Then there are the beer bellies. If a man has one, I know we'll have nothing in common as I'm active and don't do takeaways. If the profile is full of photos cropped around the face, it's a huge giveaway. Well, I got no problem. If she's really into health and fitness and taking care of herself, I got no problem if she has high standards, that she wants a guy that's equal in that department. Because she obviously works hard to take care of herself, so I'm fine there, okay? I'm a personal trainer, so I understand that thing, okay? But if a guy is not he may not be in, like, perfect shape, walking around, but by the way, you know the old thing about the 6 feet tall, 6 income, 6-pack? Now, she shouldn't be expecting that she gets a guy with a 6-pack, but if the guy's fit, that shouldn't be a problem. She's not getting into detail in terms of how picky she is with that. But obviously she doesn't want a guy with a big beer belly looking like he, is about to have twins. I can understand that. But still, you're going to see all these things that she's picky about, guys. It goes on into a harsh reality. Profiles without any text tells me a man is lazy, superficial, and not looking for a genuine connection. Then there are guys who include a picture of them with their ex-girlfriends. Why would he do that? That's a good question. Why would they do that? That's pretty stupid. The harsh reality is there's a vast difference between how these men present themselves online and how they are in real life. I know my Mr. Right is out there, and when the time is right, we will meet. That's why this Valentine's Day, the only male I'm sharing my bed with is my sweetheart house, my Jack Russell Cross, her dog. So, she's 38 years old. She needs to stop being so picky. Now, I get some of these things. I got a problem with some of them, and believe me, a lot of guys are complete boneheads and clueless. But out of 500 dates, I have a very hard time believing. But the reality is this, is that she's 38 years old. And just like this, she's going to be 40. And once she hits that 40, that is a big number to guys to say, not a chance. Even if she was a model, even if she is a model and still good looking, forget it. So she needs to ease up on her demands. The problem is because she's had a whole life guaranteed of guys chasing after her and kissing her butt, she thinks she's the queen. And her mindset is, even though she's 38, she is appealing as she was when she was 21. That is not the case. And it is certainly not going to be the case in her 40s. But guys, this is what is out there. This is today's world. Again, thanks to all the dating apps and social media and things like that. So this is why I tell you guys that are on dating apps and social media, stop validating. Stop liking all the pictures and commenting on them and trying to in hopes that you're going to get attention from. You're not. You're only building up egos. You're not helping the situation for guys out there and yourself. Okay? But this is how things are in today's world. And probably as things go on, you're going to see more and more articles written by women like this. I've done plenty. You're going to get YouTube channels out there with women trying to make guys feel bad and basically chastise us because, you know, if we're real men, we would settle down or some shit like that. But it's coming, guaranteed. And at the end of the day, whose fault is this? It's not men's fault. It's the fault of the women being so ridiculously picky. Because nobody's perfect. That's just how it is. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to read a few comments that some guys had below that I thought were pretty accurate for this video. I mean, this article. One guy says, and he's quoted as saying, her problem is that she thinks she deserves the cream of the crop. She thinks she deserves the best quality men out there. Newsflash for her, all the top quality men out there, they can do better than this woman. She's a good-looking woman, but the top quality men available have 20 other women better looking than her on their speed dial. She needs to realize that the top quality men won't want to settle down for her for the long term. There are plenty of good men available, but she refuses to settle for any man less than the best available, and that just won't happen. Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Another guy says, this could be my own prejudice talking, but the problem she is having finding the right man online is most probably due to the fact that she's trying to find the right man online. I think she should try meeting men in person. That way she can eliminate many, but not all, of the weirdos, liars, and creeps. Well, I'm willing to bet you probably when she's out, she's probably, a lot of damn good-looking women can be very standoffish. And let's also be honest here, a lot of good guys, like decent guys, if the woman's really hot, a lot of them don't have the confidence to go approach her because they've been burned before, so it's like, and darn good looking women can definitely put up that bitch vibe. They have that bitch shield that goes around them when they're out, and so no guy wants to approach them, and the only guys that do approach them are the bad boy types because they don't care, so. And the last one, guy says, even a fat 40-year-old virgin with no teeth, no job, and still living with their parents would find someone after 400 dates. She's either insanely picky, way too high maintenance to be worth the effort, or has some personality defect. I think there is definitely a lot of truth to that. Again, at 500 dates, you can't tell me you can't find a guy. So, but anyhow, guys, that was a very interesting one to cover. I appreciate the guy that sent me this article the other day. But for you guys that date, I'm sure you're aware of how things are like this, but you can't feel sorry for her. And she's going to be in her 40s soon and bitching and complaining on, and we'll get a good laugh out of that in a couple of years. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.